Let's get to it. Government shutdown countdown has started. 58 minutes and 4 seconds. 58 minutes and 4 seconds. So government shutdown. And yes, I think the government will be shutting down. If anybody asks me, I do think the government will be shutting down. So as everybody comes in, make yourself comfortable, and we'll get right into it. Get right into it. Answer questions. We're going to talk about uh, some of the things that happened today as far as speech, speeches that occurred for the generals. Um, I'm not going to say I told you so to anybody. These people were running around talking about asteroid I-3, 3I. This meeting was supposed to be about that. Yeah, I sound like the rapture. The rapture is moved also. Somebody tell me the date of the new rapture. Is it like next week or is it this week? Is it this week or next week? When is the rapture? What's up, Jay? Go check on the YouTube. Tell me how it's sounding. The new rapture is in October. The new rapture is in October. I do know that. I was like, the first, the second, the third. I think it's the third. I think it's because the government shut down. That's just a floating participle, as my English instructor used to tell me, who was my mother. I have no context for that. Yeah, because the government shut down. That's the rapture. Greetings, salutations. Yeah, greetings, salutations. Thank you, nephew. Thank you. Welcome. Conversation with TNathan. If the door knob doesn't hit you, or the good Lord splits you, I guess. If I say something you don't like, then that's on you. But entertaining any pushback on it, I don't. Because one thing I will always show up with is the receipts to back up what I'm talking. All right. So welcome. How y'all doing? Welcome to Conversations with TNathan, which is simulcast. Well, I guess technically the radio station is I'm simulcasting everywhere else because regardless if I'm on social media, I will be on the radio. So, welcome to Conversations with TNathan, my um, talk show, evening revamp show that covers all things social and news from a uniquely black perspective. Conversation with T. Nathan. You can listen to it on the GCPR network. You have international access to the GCPR network. If you can't, you can catch me on my social media accounts and you can catch the broadcast on my YouTube where you can watch it at your leisure. So, Gracie woke. Good. Now that I gotten all that out the way, let's get to it. How the hell are you? How the hell are you all today? Jay Boogie, greetings, salutations. Patrick, what's up? Speaking, Amy, what's up? Everybody, good. So, where do y'all want to start? I have several places to start. I think we'll come back to the government shutdown because I'm looking at my stopwatch here. And we have 54 minutes and 31 seconds until the government shuts down. And I'll come back and answer questions on what that means and what it doesn't mean a little later. But first, I want to, Tam, did you get my message? Tam, you got my message? Yes, act the fool. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about? Go like watch Tam's last video. Act the fool. It's time to act the fool. Yeah, and I mean, no, it's time to be a fool. Don't act a fool. You need to be whole. Put on the whole clown outfit and show up. Big red shoes. The yellow. You already got the red hair. Put on the nose. Put on pancake makeup and put on your clown outfit and show up and show them and show out. That's my suggestion. Yeah, my suggestion. And I'm going to address out that also. I have a lot of things to address, but first, I want to get into this. Um, if you follow me, you know that today I did a video in response to a white content creator asking black men to follow. So let's take a listen.
Black men, I think we need you. I think America needs you, okay? And I know it's unfair after everything this country's done to you to ask you to save it, but I think you're the only people who can. All this stuff going on with Izzy and Palestine, well, someone's got to stop them. And anybody that says something, anytime you get a white guy or even a Jewish dude speaking out about it, they hit them with the racist label, anti-Semitic, stuff like that. Black guys, you can do it. Dude, white guys, white people, they're not gonna jump on the you're racist train to black guys. And even if they do, I mean, come on, you can rubber glue that shit. Okay?
Rubber glue, because you know.
I'm not saying we need black guys to come at it like Kanye, but we just need you to speak the fucking truth. Okay? That we're allowing
Queenie,
this to happen.
I'm
We're
gonna come back to that.
the people that are most known
because I'm not
for an extreme act of organized evil happening.
That's not why.
You know, in World War II, those people are doing that to another group of people.
I'm gonna address everything point by point.
If anyone in this country could speak out about a great evil that everyone is just allowing, just sitting by and denying, it's you. Okay? You guys are the experts on this. You can speak on this without any guilt, without being silenced. All right? Because in America, you guys have the most powerful voice. Okay? You built this country. Okay? Everyone knows it. All right? And granted, you did it mostly against your will, but you fucking did it. Okay? And then you broke the chains of the oppressors. Okay? And we need you guys to take that expertise and show this country that it's being evil again. Okay? That it's being just as evil as before, but because it's out of sight, out of mind, we pretend that it's not. Okay? And we need you. I really believe that only you could do it. But because America is racist. Okay? It is. And if you're the one speaking against it, it's going to be conflicted. Okay? Because we need you to weaponize white guilt against these fucking monsters. And I think you could do it. I know it's unfair. Okay? This country, it is yours. You built it and they took it from you. But guys, you've got to be our moral compass, or we're not going to have one. We're going to go completely off the rails on some white devil fucking World War II Third Reich type shit if you guys don't start showing out real loud.
Now, some of you all are also about to get your feelings hurt and my response and my longer response that I'm going to give here. Some of you all are about to get y'all feelings hurt. First, I'm going to deal with my response to some of the issues he raised, and then I'm going to go longer.
I think we need you.
Pay attention before you say something and get cussed out.
And I know it's unfair after everything this country's done to you to ask you to save it.
Superhero Vince, this you? I finally found your video because I saw a lot of people responding to your video. Listen to me. But I guess they didn't have the intestinal fortitude to tag you in that video. I'm not built like that. I will be tagging you in this video because that's what you do when you stand on business. So I'm going to listen to your video and I'm going to address. Don't worry, y'all not going to have to listen to the whole video again. Let's get to it.
Black men, I think we need you. I think America needs you. Okay? And I know it's unfair after everything this country's done to you to ask you to save it, but I think you're the only people who can.
Now, before I get to this, I also want to make the
Listen to this
following
disclaimer.
disclaimer. Before some of you all stumble into my comment section and get your feelings hurt, I'm addressing this as a black man who is a revolutionary, a black man who has not only talked the talk, but walks the walk on a regular basis. Don't dare come into my comment section and compare me to some bad relationship you had with somebody who shared my skin tone or some baby daddy who doesn't pay his child support. That is not what this is about. Don't make it about that. I understand when y'all say black men ain't shit, but this is not one of those times where I'm addressing that. I'm addressing Vince. So, Vince, first things first, what makes you think that black revolutionaries like myself are seeking to save America? Yeah, by your own words, you talk about how America has treated us unfairly. Yes, America has never treated us like first class, second class, or even third class citizens. It has always treated us as an opportunity to further its own interests at our expense. So that's the first part of this response. Because I remember when the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told Harry Belafonte that he felt like he had integrated his people into a burning house. And Harry Belafonte asked him, well, what should we do now? And Dr. King, in my opinion, made one of his biggest tactical errors of his life when he said we should become firefighters. No, we should have become campers with some sticks, some s'mores, and watched it burn. And then built something that worked equitably for everyone in the aftermath. Now, you had a little more to talk about.
Now, I want to know, there's 76 people in here before I continue. I want to know how some of you all stumbled into my comment section and got what I said wrong from that point. From that point, how do you stumble into my comment section and get it wrong? Uh, do you know? Did you hear the part where I introduced myself as a revolutionary? I didn't introduce myself as somebody scared to fight. I didn't introduce myself as somebody who needs to hide. I didn't introduce myself as somebody who's sitting this out. I didn't introduce myself as somebody who doesn't believe there's a fight going on. So when some of y'all come into my comment section and saying it's not our job to fix something, you didn't listen to me. Because if you think a revolutionary sits quietly by and allows their friends and family and loved ones to be deeply impacted to the point of being physically, mentally, emotionally, or even killed, do you understand that it's antithesis to everything I stand for? Do you understand that? What I was responding to, what's up, Raven? What I was responding to was him asking us to save America. That's what I was responding to. When I said what makes you think is we want to save America? In no way did I say what makes you think we don't want to save what we care. We're not going to fight for liberation as we sit back and allow what happens to happen. That's one point you missed. So all of y'all that was talking about, oh yeah, it's not our fight and it's not, we just gonna sit back and do nothing. You just planning to die. Revolutionaries don't live like that.
Keep going.
Black guys, you you can do it. Dude, white guys, white people, they're not gonna jump on the you're racist train to black guys. And even if they do, I mean, come on, you can rubber glue that shit, okay? I'm not saying we need black guys to come at it like Kanye, but we.
I'm out of popsicles. Anyway, the most insulting part of that is that opening. Come on, black guys, you can do it. Like, we need a prep talk. Or, this is some kind of rallying black guys. Understand, black revolutionaries understand the flaw in your appeal.
because your appeal seeks to motivate us to save America that you are used to in that image. And then you go on to tell us that. But my question to you is that we are going to dismantle this system.
Listen to me.
Are you prepared to assist, or you're just advocating for saving the America you know? Because those are not mutually inclusive goals.
Not at
And what are
all.
you willing to do to help us dismantle a system that doesn't work for minorities and marginalized groups of people?
Pam, calm down. You're
What
missing
are
my
you
point.
willing to put on the line? Because you're telling us to basically step up to the plate, even though some of us have been the plate. And you're not telling us what you're willing to do differently from those who have looked like you and came before you that called themselves progressive or white liberals that always got what they wanted and told us to be patient when it came to what we wanted. And now that those of us who are true black revolutionaries are telling you all, we're not working to save your system. We're working to dismantle it and build something that works equitably for everyone. You're still talking about saving America.
We're we're allowing this to happen. We're enabling the people that are most known for an extreme act of organized evil happening to them. In World War II, those people are doing that to another group of people. All right, and if anyone in this country could speak out about a great evil that everyone is just allowing, just sitting by and denying, it's you. Okay, you guys are the experts on this. You can speak on this without any guilt, without being silenced. All right, because in America, you guys have the most powerful voice.
You mean like the expertise we paid for on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968? Like this? Or what about December 4th, 1969 in Chicago when the Chicago police silenced the chairman of the board in his own apartment? Or what about when Medgar Evers was silenced in his driveway on June the 12th, 1963 by the Grand Wizard of the Mississippi chapter of the Triple K? Vince, I could go on all day about the silencing of black voices at the hands of this system you asked us to save. So, no, black revolutionaries are not working to save America. We are saving to deconstruct America as you know it and build something that works equitably for all of us. Now, I asked you, what are you willing to do to make sure the things that have happened in the past, to those so powerful voices you speak of, do not happen in the future? You have the day you deserve.
Now, I can still tell by some of you all's comments. You all still missing what I'm saying. I can still tell. At no point in that video did I say I'm not fighting. At no point in that video that I said death's frightening. At no point in that video did I disrespect the lives of those who stood on the front line and fought and died for our liberation. At no point in this video do I come across as a coward who is going to sit anything out. I think some of y'all need to reevaluate what I said as opposed to what you brought to the table. And because I'm not saying that we're not going to fight. I am by no means do I identify with people who had shared my blood and the ancestors' blood sitting out on the sidelines while administration deconstructs what we have gained while also trying to turn the clock back to 1620. That's a year after 1619, just in case you didn't know. No, that's another thing I felt like I was looking in the comment section. I was like, what video are you all listening to as opposed to the video I am talking about? I addressed this question I am not working to save America. I am working to liberate people. And that doesn't mean sitting out. That doesn't mean going into like, oh, I can die. You almost missed what Al Malik Shabazz said about death. Yeah, I believe that. But at the same token, I'm a strategist and a tactician that has learned from the black men and women who have come before me on what doesn't work, what does work, and how to liberate ourselves with life instead of more. Because my thing about the sacrifices that some of our brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and mothers and fathers made for us to get to this moment, it's not the problem with the oppressor not knowing, recognizing what to do. It's the problem with you that are part of the oppressed class. It just looks at them as martyrs, but it didn't move the needle to let you learn anything. Anything. So don't get it conflated. With me saying I'm not working to save America. To me, I think this is just a you problem and I'm sitting out. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because at the end of the day, I'm working to dismantle the system of oppression. And I am not working to dismantle it in some haphazard manner where all the pieces fall on the marginalized communities that we're trying to protect and destroys them. Are y'all really okay? Are you as much as y'all follow me and listen to me, do you think I'm out here talking about let's dismantle the system? Dismantling is a very organized word. Bringing it down on top of our heads and then saying, well, they followed me, even though they all died. We're liberated now. Are you all okay? Are you okay? That is a question I want an answer to. This is not rhetoric. I didn't come in here tonight for just rhetoric. We have 36 minutes to government shutdown. I didn't come in for just rhetoric. I came in here to understand, are you okay? That's the part I think you're missing. Somehow somebody wants to interpret my video to mean let's sit out and let it burn while the ashes. Who are the ashes? Who are the hot embers going to fall on the most if we don't have a plan? It's like watching a controlled burn in a forest to prevent a wildfire. Y'all get it, right? That's the strategy. Yes, we're going to burn it. We're going to burn it in a manner that it doesn't scorch the very people we're trying to protect. And it can be done if you have leadership and vision. And some of us don't want to accept leadership, or you want to follow people that have no vision. And your leadership is nothing. It's not the same. Pence was dead in his biases, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I can go all through the cliches, right? But at the end of the day, it was some of the people I saw responding to Vince that were much more problematic than Vince himself. Much more problematic than Vince. People that don't tag people in the videos they're making responses to. What the fuck you making a response? Only time I don't tag people in videos I make responses to is if I don't know their TikTok. If I got the video from X or somewhere and no one tells you who they are. That's when I don't tag them because I don't know them. But I tell people to tag them. But these people, if you're making a video and you're addressing something somebody said and you don't tag them, I view that as coward. Call me what you want. Then people will try to give an excuse. Well, I didn't want them to report my video. And they can say, well, you need to shut up then. If you're so worried about someone reporting your video, you need to be quiet because you're not a revolutionary. Revolutionaries don't go out here thinking about someone reporting a video. Because guess what? I'll just upload it everywhere else. You understand? I just think that sometimes when I listen to responses to something I put out there, I realize how much people don't understand who I am. We had a long talk with me, and it's like I don't think you understand who I am or what I'm fighting for. Some people are just superimposing their weak ideas of liberation onto me and trying to use my voice to match things, and it doesn't. It doesn't. Medgar Evers is. know all y'all. Dr. King, I respect him. I love Coretta. If you know, you know. I love Coretta. Dr. King, I respect. Fred Hampton, I idolize. And I don't idolize him. Medgar yes, he died in the driveway of his own home. I fought black men. I fought black men. All these people run around here and tell you, "Oh, I like what you say." What are you doing to ensure it? That was my thing to Vince. Vince, I'm not trying to save America, but what are you doing to help me create a different environment for all of us that we can grow and excel under without oppression? Because when you out here forming protective layers, or you just writing it in, asking questions on social media. Or you oh, my chief of security. Let me remind you all, just in case y'all haven't met my mods, headed by the chief of security since Kerry is in here tonight. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You all think that this is a democracy, and it's not a democracy. It is not. That doesn't mean I'm going to silence you for speaking, but I will. My mods will understand who I am enough to know that if you are I don't mind combativeness when it comes to growth, but if you combativeness is rooted in not listening to what I'm saying, then my mods are going to I'll do what I want. See, that's the hold up for just a moment. See, that's the thing. I was respectful, and I am respectful. And I am trying to tell you that this is not the lives that people go into and have panel discussions with people who are advocating them. It's not their life. I am trying to do that. Hold up, hold up, and I'm trying to get you to understand that if you're repeating things that we've addressed in the past that are inconsistent or infallible, then yes, I push back on it. I push back on it. And that's what I'm saying. Part of the problem, I'm just trying to teach some history. What history? Hold on. What's the name of the show? What is the name of this show? Somebody tell me. Is it what is it? Conversations with TNathan? History. I teach history and perspective also. So if anybody in my comment section needs an informational history lesson, I'll give it because I give it from the perspective of revolutionary ideas that have worked and not just idolizing the pseudo intellectuals. Yes, to stop speaking on religion if she won't. Y'all might be glad I didn't see no comments on religion in here because, and if you're talking about the religion of any oppressor, then I cuss. I know I cuss because we don't adopt no revolutionary has adopted the revolutionary religion of the oppressor with any hope of trying to fight for the liberation of black and brown people. And that includes Christianity or Islam. What did she doing exactly that? What's not true? I need a brown bag. What's not true? What did I say that's not true? What did I say that's not true? This is called Conversations with Teenagers. In here, I cuss. And there is no adoption of the religion of the oppressor that leads to our liberation. I'll make it even clearer. I was talking about what happened to us. Oh, yeah, what happened to us is that we were victimized by forced religion and mental enslavement. And the only way we're going to get out of that is to shun the yoke of Western civilization idealisms and oppression. Yes, T. Nathan. I hear a small voice saying, "Don't do it," but I hear a louder voice saying, "Do it." Nah, let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So, like I said, I don't create echo chambers. I just I just make sure that the chamber we're in is harmonious. There's a big difference. I just need us to acknowledge what hasn't worked, what doesn't work, and what's not going to work in the future. Anything to do with the oppressor's religion is not going to help us. Now, if you want to talk about spirituality of the Ashanti, Western African culture, more than well. I'm even open to the time to tell you. I'm open to the spirituality of the Celtics. I'm open to all those spiritualities that were inclusive. But any that were exclusive, we're not here for that. I'm not giving them voice. Yeah, I'm not giving baby white Jesus voice. I'm not giving them voice. So moving right along. So that was my response. That was my response to what Ben said, and that was my response to people who didn't understand my response to what Ben said. Because at the end of the day, we're about overthrowing the present system, and I don't mean just American. I mean anywhere that the white patriarchy has spread itself and embedded itself, then we stand in opposition to that. Just like this wonderful speech from the president of Ghana. I have several other African presidents. I'm going to play their speeches because they're just superb. They're superb speeches. And it talks about how we study the past, analyze the present in order to determine what our future will look like. And for so long, we have allowed our future to be at the hands of white patriarchy that only thought about us as in relevance to how they could fulfill their most ardent desires for their future. I had to educate my colleagues on John McAfee. You did? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Listen, all right, Chief of Security, just a moment. Chief of Security. All right. Yeah. I'm trying. I'm trying. Listen, I don't know. I will tell you this. The Chief of Security, when it comes to what he feels is a danger or threat and I say this only half joking because I'm dead serious, right? Because we have to understand when I talk about how black men have failed in the past to protect the movement from outside, I can't say that and then complain about the chief of security taking extreme measures to do that. Y'all don't want to. Y'all think it's hot in here. Try being around him physically. Try being around him physically, right? And he knows I can fight and shoot quite well. Anyway, we have to understand there's some conversations that are dead on arrival because we've had these conversations for 400 years and they haven't moved the needle at all. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't mean that I devalue. We need to change the scope of the conversation to understand the perspective of where we are today and how we move forward. And that's what I was doing. And that's what I talk about. So, yeah, and I'm the nice one. I am the nice one. So we are at, I think we're at 24 minutes to the government shutdown. 24 minutes and 40 seconds to the government shutdown, right? And before we get to answering any questions about what the shutdown means, we're going to address that. There's something else I want to show. I want to go over a series of sound bites from the speech. You know, today, um, our MAGA Lord and Savior Donald Trump was speaking before the generals, and Pete Hegseth, the drunk, that is the Secretary of Defense, because I refuse to call him the Secretary of War because I know how bad it would make him. Yeah, they haven't got congressional approval for that yet, but they went around. But I want to share with you some clips that some of you all should have paid attention to today. And let's start with let's start. I flip a coin. Do we start with the insistence on DEI, or do we start on turning American streets into training grounds for our military? I have the full speech, but I don't want to. But let's listen to some of these things, and I want to get some of y'all's reaction.
For too long, we've promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons, based on their race, based
All
on
right,
gender
Jay,
quotas, based on
there you go.
historic so-called firsts. We've pretended that combat arms and non-combat arms are the same thing. We've weeded out so-called toxic leaders under the guise of double-blind psychology assessments, promoting risk-averse, go-along-to-get-along conformists instead. You name it, the department did it. Foolish and reckless political leaders set the wrong compass heading, and we lost our way. We became the woke department, but not anymore. Right now, I'm looking out at a sea of Americans who made a choice when they were young men and young women to do something most Americans will not, to serve something greater than yourself, to fight for God and country, for freedom and the Constitution. You made a choice to serve when others did not, and I commend you. You are truly the best of America.
Right. And this is the thing that gets me, right? This is the thing that gets me. This alcoholic has the nerve to talk about somebody else's qualifications or their service. And I'm gonna address, I have an overall reach and address you all know after this too. And this is also for my international market, especially. But let's get to this part.
To remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department. To rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that shit. I've made it my mission to uproot the obvious distractions that made us less capable and less lethal. That said, the War Department requires the next step. Underneath the woke garbage is a deeper problem, and a more important problem that we are fixing and fixing fast.
Y'all can laugh now. So this is the thing. And like I say, I'm going to come back because I have a lot I want to and I'm gonna sum it up pretty succinctly, easily, and it's not going to take long. But we're going to come back to that. Now let's move on to some of the things Donald Trump said. Now I will say this about Pete Hegseth. I told somebody nothing he said surprised me because everything he said, and I know people don't watch as much, cover as much news as I cover. I listen to Fox because sometimes I need a good laugh, and I also listen to Fox because sometimes I need to know what they're saying. Because some people say, "Well, I can't take this, I can't take that." How do you actually get an actual assessment on your enemy without studying them? I remember Pete Hegseth when he co-hosted a Saturday show. I've listened to some of his podcasts, and I'm telling you, there was nothing he said in this whole. I think it's 40. I have the whole speech, and I would have played it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want some of your ears to start bleeding. But I have. He didn't say anything he hadn't said. I remember when we were talking about Pete Hegseth's confirmation, and I tried to tell people he doesn't like women. Not only does he will not want them in combat, he can't convince me he likes women in the way he speaks about it. And it was true. It's true. And I want to go out, and they're talking about, they want to strengthen the military and they want to go back to the Department of War days. I'm going to address that, and I'm going to address this succinctly. But let's talk about Training Ground USA.
Important mission. And I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because
Not
we're going
National
into
Guard.
Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid. They threw him out of his family business. He was so stupid. I know the family. He becomes governor. He's got money. Not money that he made, but he ran for governor, he won, and now he criticizes
Listen,
us all the time.
the man talking about not
Last
money
week
he
they had
made.
11 people murdered, 44 people shot. The week before that, they had 5 people murdered, 28 people shot. Every weekend, they lose 5, 6. If they lose 5, they're considering it a great week. They shouldn't lose any.
Now, that's it. So he's talking about not the national. He specifically said, and this is what I hear. And so I hear pontiffs that the Republican talking heads. They come on and say, "Well, he didn't mean what he said. He was just being hyperbolic." The man specifically said, "We're not talking about National Guard. We're talking about national. We're talking about military troops." like Patikamatons doesn't exist. But yeah, and sending them into U.S. cities. And then people are talking about, well, Washington's crime rate went down. Let me explain something to you all, right? Anybody who's willing to get rid of the Secretary of Labor because they don't like numbers, I am not listening to the government's numbers anymore until we get um, some other people in control of them. But let's go to this too. This is the last one I'm
That's
gonna play
what it
before I go
is.
in.
Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while
Why Kenya and
America is
Somalia?
under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take
Oh,
them
y'all
out.
didn't
These
hear
people
this?
don't have uniforms.
I didn't know he said
But
this
we
today.
are under invasion from within. We're stopping it very quickly.
Yeah, I have his whole speech too. Just listen, this man got up there. You all know me, so I'm out and about doing the thing, and I have my glasses on, so I'm listening to all these while I'm out and about. This speech alone took up over an hour of time, right? He spoke for an hour of rambling, and but he said these things like, yes, the enemy within, the enemy within. And this is what I want to say. When I listened to this general overview of what they were trying to establish by saying they want to go back to the days when the, the military was just men basic standards, and if women pass those standards, oh well. If they don't, oh well. Never once did in this speech as if they addressed the number of there were 8,000 sexual assaults of women last year in the military. 8,000 last year. 8,000. No reference to that. The idea that this is the overarching reach. They talk about, they want our military to be more effective, and like what war are they talking about we wasn't effective in, our military wasn't effective in. And he was mentioning about we going back to the old days. And I was like, let me explain something to you. Military soldiers are not the reason for the debacle in Iran, Iraq, or Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam. Yeah, military servicemen and women are not the problem. It's you, white men, politicians, that try to lead from your office or from your home or from your bedroom while people were dying by thousands in Vietnam. This this is not the result of women being in the military. This is not the result of black people serving in the military. This is the result of mediocre white men being put in leadership from the safety of their homes or their offices in Washington, D.C. So all this talk about, well, we're cutting back on DEI months, or whatever those are. I don't even know what a DEI month is. Gender and all training and all that. Our military is the most advanced military on the planet. Our combat readiness is, like I say, I talked about it the other day. If we really wanted to, if we go to war, or I don't even consider it a war, if we engage Venezuela, if we wanted to, we could turn Venezuela into a sheet of glass 3 days after we got in position. It would take 3 days to get in position. That'd be the longest point of the war. If we wanted to. If we wanted to, we could have ended the Gulf War if it was really about certain objectives that they put out instead of protecting poppy fields. We could have ended that in shock and awe could have been a reality, but no, that's not the thing. The rules of engagement that we engaged in were set by mediocre white men that had objectives on how to enrich themselves by taking product, get product to poppy fields, or and going to another country and instituting democracy in a way that worked to profit from. So the industrial military complex machine is not about winning wars with objectives. It's about enriching the pockets of large corporations and individuals. That's it. So none of the shit he talked about today, none of the shit Donald Trump talked about today was actually about the military on foreign soil. It was more about the desire to set up the idea that they're going to use the military on domestic soil. when he literally said, like I said, quiet points out loud. And even in spite of all of this, none of this scares me to the point I'm going to be inactive or be quiet. Because at the end of the day, how did you all think revolution was going to come about? That's my question too. When I hear people like telling me earlier, "Oh, we're not going out to the protest because they're going to turn the National Guard loose on you." I was like, "Yeah, okay. What do you think? What do you when you say you're going to fight the oppressor for the liberation of people? What does that look like?" Because I think some of you all only think that looks like a firm talking to. That's what I want to know. Trump wants to be the head of one world order. I don't think so, Gracie. I don't. I don't think he wants to be the head of a one world order. He knows. I don't. He just wants to be a dictator, and he realized he doesn't want to be the world dictator. He wants to influence what other people does, but no, no, he doesn't want to be the dictator of Africa. He just wants to exploit their resources like every other European and Western civilization that comes through there, and then leave them to fend for their own. And there's a lot to be said. We use the word dictator, but there are some people that could make an argument that the pharaohs of ancient Kemet were dictators, and they served their people. They served the community. They realized that. So, yeah, I'm not. I'm not sure. Yeah, people are going to get mad with this. It's not the idea that one man and a group of 13 people couldn't make good decisions for their community and their country. It's just that these are not the people. This is not the man, and those 13 people he surrounds himself in his cabinet post are not the answer either. That's what happens when you have somebody like that in positions of power that don't feel any ties to the community. Tell you about my style of leadership, and you all know it. And you know when I talk about communalism and when I talk about the idea of what leadership looks like from West Africa and the history of Akibilan, it looks like the fact that yes, there were pharaohs, they had advisors, and they worked for the betterment of the community. And there were some who didn't, and they were handled appropriately. They were handled appropriately because it is about the people. If you're not in a position, the position of power you rise to is only by the will of the people, and the will of the people can also take it from you the minute they see. But in this country, for some reason, white supremacists, for some reason, um, they're okay with being told what to do by the people they put in office, as long as that is in accordance with their white supremacist beliefs. He's already trying to put himself in position to be the head. No, yeah, no. Head of Greenland. I think it's I think and I'm probably because I'm a stickler for certain words, right? Um, Greenland is a fever dream that because you get used to it. Greenland does have strategic value to the United States. It does, but they don't understand. They're not doing that because it has strategic value. They're doing it because it distracts Democrats from the real fight. They, Greenland is safe. Greenland is safe. You got to go through Denmark, and also to understand that Denmark is a member of NATO. It's a member of NATO. Let that sink in. So we can't go invade Greenland. Can't go in unless you're going to get out of NATO. Now there was a time when I thought Trump was trying to get out of NATO, and I still believe on a level he is. But I also believe Steve Miller tells him. I believe Steve Miller runs so many things that people don't understand with his history of Nazism. Um, he realizes that it's a good argument to keep in the international eye while we now talk about tariffs. Fever dream. I wonder if the power ever thinking in. I wonder if the powerful ever think in these terms. No, they don't. I know. And Tam, this is a powerful. It's not just power. It's the moral corruption of some people in power. Um, Case in point, the president of Ghana the other day. He's a powerful, but his moral compass is pointed in such a way that he understands how to utilize that power in a way that's not just about So when powerful people like this are just interested in reinforcing their personal wealth at the expense of the people. Donald Trump's wealth has gone up by like 10%, meaning about 5 times, sorry, since he's been in office. His family's wealth is now over $100 billion, right? That's because they get to utilize the office to make sales pitches, like his granddaughter on the White House grounds advertising $139 sweatshirts, right? And people that don't make $139 a day working at their job are trying to buy these sweatshirts because they want to be seen as something they're not. And by that segue takes us into faces at the bottom of the well. Um, y'all know, if you know me, you know this is Derek Bell is one of my favorite authors. And faces at the bottom of the well is exactly what we're watching in this administration as it unfolds. Poor white people are willing to cast their lots with billionaire racists and bigots. They don't care about them. They don't care about them. That's why I look at it and I say, when we talk about revolution, going back to the segue what you started on, when we truly talk about revolution, it's not about sitting out, but it's also understanding that you know, Reese, I was wondering, I was like, I know it. I was like, yeah, I know it's about time. Because we got 6 minutes to the government shutdown, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So that is where we are. So poor white people, women, white women, I need you. Y'all need to get your act together. Need to get your act together. Y'all need to. And people always ask me, well, what can we do? What can we do? Well, start by slapping Karen. I need you all to slap Karen for us. Y'all gonna get less time. It's Karen through slap Karen. Just see Karen talking somewhere. Just slap. Her. Haul off and slap her. Make it a viral video so white women can get the understanding that yeah, it takes more than us just get. I don't like you. Y'all will jump up and down about somebody calling me the N word, but you won't slap Karen. I need you to slap Karen. Why I never run right. Hey, I need you all to slap Karen. I need you all to the Judy. Y'all remember? Oh, did I show you a video? Oh, Reese, tell your boyfriend that I have a video I want to show before we get out of here. Uh, tell your boyfriend it's all right.
A good set of niggers here,
No, not that
and they don't want to be disturbed.
one. Not that
They really are. I have one that I just love. She nursed my children for about 6 years, and I wouldn't have her want for a thing if I found out that she needed something.
He's a little boy, you.
He is a minor. He is a minor. And he did nothing wrong the entire time.
No, because that was him. He beat me up. I'm not stopping for y'all. He beat me up already.
Baby, just let go. Just let go and let him. Just let him.
You're fucking nasty. Get off. Let him go.
Yes, he's a minor. They need to take his badge. They need to really take his badge.
He came aggressive. I'm not. Let me go. You let him go. It's on video. If y'all don't let me go, it's going to look at my mom. It was all her fault. It was her. Back up. Do not say mom. Do not. You're trying to take me down. What is your mom's number? Sir.
No, it's no officer. You did this. You did this. You did this.
What did I do?
You did this. You did this.
Slap her.
You did this. No,
Slap.
I was in the store the entire time, honey. I saw it all. No, defend you because he did nothing wrong. You were following him from the time he walked in the store. No, honey, no. Y'all are so wrong for this. Y'all are so wrong. And he is a freaking minor. That's the thing. This is somebody's child. No, I didn't miss anything. I didn't miss anything. This is a child.
Just let them talk. I can hear you. I don't need you yelling. I'm not a child. And I'm not your child.
Exactly.
Really, Grace?
Exactly.
We're going to talk about that.
Just let them cuff you. Just let them cuff you.
Baby, let him cuff you. Baby, go ahead and let him cuff you. Baby, go ahead and let him cuff you.
How many fucking people does it take?
Don't touch me again. Please don't touch me again.
How many fucking fuckers y'all need, bro?
This is a damn child. This is somebody's baby. This is a child. It don't take all of this. That one man right there came up here aggressive. It don't make no damn sense. That is somebody's baby. And they playing with him like that. He's a fucking baby.
He can't. It's straight choking.
And I was here the entire time and saw everything what happened.
I was trying to tell her what happened. I was sitting on the pool.
It don't make no sense.
How many of y'all fucking need?
Calm down. Your co-worker, she did, and wait, she at behind the fucking door. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say some shit. Behind the fucking door you work at now. Shut the fuck up, cause you don't piss me off. And I don't care. My husband is an ex-cop. I can get up. I ain't worrying about it, so shut the fuck up. Hey, please calm down.
Listen to this.
Y'all called because he pulled a knife on you.
No, he didn't. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. He didn't. Let me tell you something. If she don't know the slang, she needs to shut the hell up, because the only thing he said he'll put.
Now, of course, we do have a statement released because, like I tell you, I do these things because I realize people don't have timeline. But this happened on the 25th. This happened on the 25th, and as you can see, this is the statement released by the North Charleston Police Department in connection with that incident. And I'm going to read it, but if you just, for those who are just listening, because some people just listen to me like on the radio, but if you want to read it, you can read yourself too. But on 9/25/25, around 1:32 p.m., officers responded to a disturbance involving a male at a CVS. I put all this in my video. And Gracie, I'm gonna tell you what happened when I called also. 5215 Ashley Phosphate Road, armed, allegedly armed. So Judy, the white woman in the red, she works at that CVS. She works there. The black woman that was filming across that the other black woman got in there, she works there also. Okay, so the other black woman that told the police, "I work here," and was trying to tell them. And we're gonna come back to that. The individual was detained after a brief struggle. The first cop that came there put hands and paws on that little boy. The first cop that pulled up, the out of shape one that was breathing all hard. Listen, if you put hands and paws on a 17-year-old and you couldn't even detain him, you probably in the wrong line of work with your fat ass. I, yeah, yeah. With your fat racist, out of shape ass, maybe you should stop trying to put hands and paws. It's a testimony to that young man's self restraint that he didn't floor that cop. I'm telling you, I want the Florida rent a cop this weekend, but I digress. It's not about that. The individual was saying it was not a brief struggle. You saw they were like literally put mushing his face into the concrete. No injuries were reported, and wait for it, no weapon was located. Little boy didn't have. He had a wad of cash in his pocket, and that's what he was telling the woman. He's like that was following him around because that's what they do. They follow him around and says, "I'll pull out a G on you." No, he said I'll pull out a ban on you, a ban. Yeah, which is $1,000, right? He had money. He wasn't in there trying to steal anything. He went in there to get him a drink, and she wanted to follow him around. And if you like me, let me tell you, I do it intentionally. Once I figure out somebody following me around the store, I'm going to see how much exercise they got in, because I'm going to just lead them around the store. I do that on a regular basis. I do it on a regular basis, and then buy a candy bar. Yeah. No injuries reported, no weapons were located. The juvenile was released to his parents with assault third and breach of peace charge. Assault third is a simple misdemeanor, by the way, but they charged a situation that would have never occurred if Judy wouldn't have called the police, and they didn't even listen. The police didn't even try to talk to the young man or any of the witnesses that were there before trying to assault the young man. He said ban because of racist Karen following him around. Right. I pull out a ban on you. I don't need anything in here. Listen, we're aware that video of the incidents are being shared online. Body worn camera footage is being reviewed, and the Office of Professional Standards has been notified. We remain committed to transparency, accountability, and respectful engagement with the community. The community was telling you that this little boy had done nothing violent, and you still did not. So, miss me with the bullshit of the community. So those of y'all who saw my video on this and called, I thank you. I thank you. And Queenie, that's another thing I said in the video. Um, CVS has cameras. I know CVS has cameras. So and they're not required, but they don't want to share that. They don't want to share that with the public because there is no. When they charged him with this, they didn't charge him with assaulting her. They're charging him with the assault on the police officers after the fact. So if that's the case, then the footage from inside the store is not relevant because they didn't charge him in accordance with Judy, the Karen, lying on him. Yeah, no. I mean, I understand when y'all say that. Who you gonna sue? Who you want to sue? I know we live in a country that people think lawsuit. You all realize that most lawsuits don't turn out with any kind of compensation. You hear about big ones, but no, no. Because what are you going to, all these lawsuits that try to hold people accountable for hiring people that do fuck shit like this, most of them don't work unless you can tie it to there's been a history of this kind of behavior and the company overlooked it. Yeah, I used Petra and I used to work in a law office. Just a young man, his parent transparent. And that's why I say I understand you all want to run to the system that continues to victimize us to get some kind of yeah, my thing when I saw that video, I was looking at where I needed to be positioned and how many certain projectiles needed to be fired without harming anybody in the background. I know you are, and I get so tired of people talking about lawsuits. Lawsuits do not fix racism. They do not fix bigotry. But I'm gonna tell you what does. Eliminating bigots and racists fixes racism. That's what I talk about when I say the difference in how I'm built and how I think than how other people build. Because you know. Oh, I yeah, I know when between Reese and Olivia, DJ, you're gonna get your program on time sometimes. All right, you all. Hold on here on social media on TikTok. I'm logging off the radio station. WGCP, I mean W GCPR. GCPR, thanks for joining me. We'll see you. Our government has officially entered a shutdown here in the United States. So 6 minutes we have been shut down, and we'll bring you an update tomorrow as you all are listening outside the country and never have to deal with this. All right, peace. All right, Reese, Olivia, y'all happy now? I'm telling y'all, I think y'all got something for DJ. You were purposely ignoring me at this point. Yes, I was, cause I know you were in here capping for DJ, and I was perfectly ignoring you until I finished that letter. Yes. lawsuits in a racist system mean nothing. The judges are just as bad. That's what I get to. And I don't think it's like every time one of these things happen, Raven, I hear people say, well, sue them, sue them. When you have democracy married to capitalism, and I'm talking about overthrowing the system, I'm talking about overthrowing the democracy and the capitalism portion of this marriage too. And to understand that they'll throw a certain amount of money every now and then and make people think this is the way it is, but you understand that 95% of these lawsuits don't end in any decision that impacts the people that are disenfranchised. And then you deal with a system where the lawyers run off with much, and when the ones they do, the lawyers make as much profit as anything. So yes, I'm into kirking. Is it too soon? I wonder if that gets understood. If I say kirking people, is that's okay? Because kirking implies a certain, yeah, yeah. Ah, ah. Yeah, yeah. Is it too soon? Is it too soon? Can we add kirking to the lexicon? You know what makes them pause, introduce karma, immediate karma. Like I said, and until we get to that point where people are willing to, like I say, slap Karen, sue the city. So what? For listen, right? Y'all be talking about sue the city. Who's gonna pay it? The people who did are not paying it. The taxpayers are paying it, and we know that who disproportionately pays taxes? The poor. Yeah, I still can't look at the neck bone without laughing. Yeah. Listen, I'm not turning down my rhetoric. I'm sorry. I didn't start that. So I figure I'm still catching up. Especially since the Donald Trump has posted on his Truth Social another racist meme with Akeem Jeffries in a sombrero again. He did it yesterday and he did another one today. So yeah, yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. So it's official. We have the federal government has been shut down for 8 minutes and 40 seconds. 44, 45. And we're going to talk about now, understand, since 1976, Jimmy Carter's administration, there have been 20 government shutdowns. Y'all know that? There's been 20 government shutdowns since um, 1976. This is the 21st now. And understand that the last and longest government shutdown was under whose administration? Anybody want to guess? So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that this government shutdown happened. Not surprised. It should have happened last time. Now let's talk about the ramifications. But I will say this, right? I'm not holding out this as a victory for Democrats. There's a papa that became a hood ornament because of as a papa that became a hood ornament is so diabolical. Listen, I'm gonna say this, right? And it's just a series. Hold on, I can turn off the remote control now. This is a series of unfortunate events that people think can lead to something. The Democrats don't really have a high ground here as far as this time. The yes, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Yes, that is going to happen. This is going to hurt. Yes, that is true. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to hurt people. People are going to be harmed. There are people that, after if this goes on for as long as the last one, there are people because you can have the electric company now. I think since the last time we might get good, but utility companies they give people extensions that are government workers, all that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that I'm going to watch the people that come. If this goes past 14 days, I'm going to watch the number of people that come out there for food insecurity increase like last time. We're going to watch people that are not getting paid, that are working or have jobs that are not have maxed out their credit cards already. We watch the influx, and I'm gonna tell you from the point of view that people don't look at the shelters or at food banks. That I remember being in Fort Smith, and the food bank there was overwhelmed during the last talk of a shutdown because people didn't have money to buy food. Um, that is a reality. Okay, so when you say me, when we talk about helping those who happen to be homeless, we also help those with food insecurities. So understand that. Don't forget, um, the coat drive is going on now. If you want to donate, there's the Cash App. If it's getting going to get cold, and we're collecting coats for those who happen to be homeless and those who are less fortunate. And by that means, we find children that need coats. I do an advertisement and children that need coats, and we try to provide them with coats also. Don't pack up a bunch of coats and send them to me because I only do new coats. I don't do used coats. I'm not giving somebody a coat that needs to be stitched together. That's why we're doing these coats now so they can have new coats. So I'm not accepting people sending me boxes of old shit they've cleaned out their closet that I'm going to burn if you send it to me. All right. So don't think I need Nick to build a Charlie Kirk. Stop. Who the hell donates a coat that needs? But lots of people. Rain. I'm telling you. And yes, lots of people do. Lots of people will come in with trash bags full of stuff to donate that still has trash in it. This woman came in with a bag of stuff she obviously cleaned out her closet, and it had bubblegum wrappers and all that in it. As I keep a big barrel outside that I throw stuff in and burn because some people accept it when I'm not there because they don't know how to tell people the things I tell them or they don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I burn that shit. Yeah. Um, it happens all the time. Yes, all the time. I have hand surgery in April. I hope you feel. What did I miss? Okay. We are once again humbly reaching out to ask the community for their wax paints. What's up, pirate? Yeah, yeah, all that. We're not this. So yeah, on calling here, let me get this before I move on to talk about that. On calling, yes, a lot of you all called and told me you all got answer machines or the phone was off the hook or I we don't give up. Thank you. I want to thank everybody who sees my videos and actually understand the call to action that I'm asking for because I have to word it that way because TikTok doesn't like it when I put up, like putting up this was okay. It's too many words for them to keep up with that the address is up there. But I noticed that when we put out call actions videos and I put the direct information in the end of the video, TikTok censors those videos. So we get creative because unlike some people, I'm not throwing my phone away because a racist runs the company. I can find a way to use that instead. Thank you all for calling, um, sharing your all's responses with me because I have some videos to catch up on. Been busy. Oh, yep, yep, been busy. So that's where we're going. That's where we are. And like I say, we are taking up the donations for those. And Memphis, our next trip is to Memphis. Um, and I understand. I understand. I usually, you say, well, when? I can tell you when I would like to go, but we have to raise the funds to also go and be effective. I just don't go somewhere just to be going and showing up, say, hey, I'm in Memphis. No, we're going to do no less than we do every time we go. And so I reach out to you all for help, and I try to reach out in a timely manner. And I know we got other things we're going to try, we're going to do to raise money for those who have been homeless. And I want to do this once a month. Once a month, I want to be in another city. I don't know if we're going to be in that do it in October because I know it takes time, but we're going to expand. We're going to expand. We're going to expand. We still have the community here that we also do things for, so we can do that in the interim. But by next year, I do want to start trying to be in a different city every month, meeting with people that want to bring awareness to their city's plight, and we have to grow this coalition. We have to. Or I can't sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. So we have to do it. And family, y'all stuck with me. Y'all know that. Hate to break it to you. Y'all are stuck with me. So get over it. Get over it. Get with it. And let's do it. Um, hmm, hold tight. Everybody. All right, there we go. That down. All right. Okay, I know to introduce you to the cities you haven't heard of, like Biloxi. I swear, pirate. When it's on site. Let's see, I won't let the moderators, but it's on site when we see each other. I just want you to know that. So basically, we're hostages. Yes, you're basically hostages. Yes, call it what you want to. You can't get rid of this redhead. Yeah, we're basically hostages because if we don't address it, we know we can't count on other people to address it. We see we see where other people have been. Oh, we got the little. There we go. Yeah, I got it again in a one-time try. So we are there. I wonder who will put in a trunk I can't fit again. Thank you, Jay. Thank you always. But that is what we have going on. Um, Government is shut down. Non-essential services are going to be furloughed. And if I wish I could tell you that it would be like like the last 20 shutdowns where people are given back pay. Some people might get fired. This administration used that as a kludgem to try to get Democrats um, to sign on to it. I remind you all, Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania is not a Democrat. He's not even in it for the best interest. And I think about all the goodwill that he garnered for from people, from progressive liberals, when he was sick and had his stroke, when he talked about his mental health issues, only to watch him do what he's doing now. Yeah, he's not progressive or liberal at all, um, in that way. So you need to treat him accordingly. Um, I wish I could say that I believed everybody would get paid after the government came back up. But let me just dispel some illusions. Law enforcement, ICE, federal government agencies, they'll still be working. As a matter of fact, ICE will still be getting paid. ICE will still be getting paid because of how the budgeting was set up from the One Big Beautiful Bill. They anticipated a government shutdown. If you look at some of the provisions for line payments in the One Big Beautiful Bill, yeah, those agencies will be paid. Military personnel will not be paid, but they are still expected to show up at work. I won't be flying anywhere anytime soon because TSA is going to be required to show up at work without getting paid. Air traffic controllers are required to be at work without getting paid. And if you remember, during the last 31-day shutdown, a group of air traffic controllers walked out. They said they wasn't getting paid, and that was like on day 20, 24. They weren't getting paid. They couldn't continue to do this. So there is that. Um, the court system. I had somebody have some miscommunications on the court system. Judges will still get paid, just like congressmen will still be getting paid. Congressmen were still getting paid. Their staffers might not get paid, but congressmen were getting paid. Judges were getting paid. The criminal court system won't shut down. Now, civil litigation might be shut down. While Medicaid and Medicare services are still going to be operational as far as getting people's checks out, because they're going to be a dramatic cutback in the forces, most likely these payments will be late. So there is that. We need to have that video of ice falling to catch that food bike on. I could do that. I could do that. I might do that for my chief of security. Yeah, I might do that for my chief of security. I put it in a loop and pin it to my page. So that is where we are. Government shutdown, um, non-essential forces, furloughs. Um, so anybody have any questions about who is working, who is not working? We're going to watch, like I say, ICE activities will continue as planned. People like me that have government assistance for the programs they work for. The thing about us, we're going to big crumb snatcher. What's going to happen to us is we're going to we'll receive federal funding. We're not going to receive it. And by the time we get back pay, we're going to have people without pay also. So it is that. They subsidize a certain amount from, but you already know we lost somebody because of the one big beautiful bill, and now we're on that. So there is that. He can do whatever he wants. He violates all laws. Yeah, he gave them the razzle dazzle. Pinky has announced herself. Yeah, y'all know the difference between Pinky. Could Trump take away a government pension? Um, not for cause, not for cause, but trumped up charges like you're gonna see against Comey, things of that nature, depending on the nature of the charge. Not without charge. But this is the thing that you have to think about. Government pensions are based on like how much you can pay into the system. When you have a shutdown and you don't get paid during that time period, I hope you don't time to retire or anything, then that would affect it. But other than that, usually the government goes back to operating the way it did, or people are compensated for the time they worked and didn't get paid. That's usual. But also, I noticed something else unusual about this. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but usually ahead of a government shutdown, there's a clearinghouse agency that tells you what is going to be affected, what's not going to be affected, and gives you direct answers about the shutdown. This is the first time I can remember that we don't have the clearinghouse agency. We do not have that clearinghouse agency in effect talking about who is going to be impacted by government shutdowns and how. I don't know. It's like a lot of the rain, rain. You still in here? Oh, now I didn't know you would. Now you getting your government pension might be delayed. That might be a delay, but it depends on what's already in the system. Rain, last shutdown, because that's what I was going to ask you. How did it affect you all's portal services? How did it affect the portal services? Shut up, pirate. Shut up, pirate. The portal services are what I'm not sure about. Like, they have my mom's military pension. She didn't get last shutdown. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was a stay-at-home mom then. Okay, the VA, the VA doctors and nurses will be working, but some of the support staff will not. So, and then this is like the worst time for a government shutdown is at the first of the month. Some people had this. If you had your payment already in the system, it will be paid. People that have to have their pay put into the system might not. And if it lasts more than 30, all right, right time. I like if you already were in the system to be paid, you're probably gonna get paid. But if it's anything that has to be put new into the system, um, it probably won't get put into the system. That was my dad's military service. She has to survive. Okay, I got my October pay already. Yeah, you're lucky. No one is getting paid on the third of this month. Trust me, I know. Well, and I'm gonna just say, I was when you work in effort, something like what I do, the government, the state government will take a time to not pay, and then they do it, and they think that well you're committed to it, and but it doesn't make sense. What's up, dressing swords? That's the big pump snatcher. I knew Pinky was losing her mind for some reason. Let me be. All right, Tam. You have a good one. So if there are any questions, I will make a video tomorrow and put some of the things in it that you all need to know that I find out. Like I say, now that it has happened, we'll be able to find out more information as it's unfolding. I do think I do think that this is not going to be as easy has past government shutdowns to restart from, um, and I do think the Democrats will cave. Yeah, I do think the Democrats will cave, but in this case, it's going to be if people are not prepared. And you know, remember I tried to tell people, be prepared, be prepared. I had a feeling that this time the Democrats, Chuck Schumer learned his lesson. Like I said, this is not the hill. This is the thing. The justifications for the shutdown for the Democrats is weak because none of them ran on the issues they're shutting the government down over. I'm not saying they're shutting the government down. None of them ran on this issue. And I feel like they're using this issue because they don't know they have better issues because somehow we are smarter than Democratic leadership. But talking about the Affordable Health Care Plan and the subsidies and all that, you didn't run on them. You didn't run on these same things. These are the same things you agreed to in the one big beautiful bill. So there were so many more reasons why you could have gave that would have resonated much stronger than this. But I just don't understand how the Democrats continue to want to try to take the moral high ground, and they could actually be right, but they pick the worst issue to try to justify it. So um, that's it. So any questions for me? Let me know. Those of y'all who have my number directly, please don't hesitate to contact me. We'll still be trying to help those who happen to be homeless, regardless of what goes on. Um, Regardless of how long this lasts, we will still be doing it. And I know it's going to take more, and we have less to do with. I'm ordering some shiesties. Ordering shiesties. Anybody know a good shiesty company? I'll be ordering more. The citizens of Nepal had the right idea, but I'm gonna say this: I think we can learn from that, but let's not overlook the population difference in Nepal and a country like the United States and the area that works well in Nepal and that kind of area. Um, we don't have that percentage of people that would turn out. If we had that percentage of the population of this country that would turn out and do the same thing, we could do the same. But we don't. And even France is doing better than we are. So, what's up, Jason? So, as we get out of here, random acts of kindness, goes without saying, and it's going to be even more important in the days to come. Remember, tell somebody you love them, and in return, I hope you have somebody in your life that doesn't just tell you they love you, but show you they love you. All right. So, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to I'll be up all night. Anybody who wants to text, because I'm going to be tracking the first 12 hours, 24 hours of the government shutdown. YouTube, we're out of here.